Hi guys, I'm just going to try this rework platform out. Just get some flux. This is a board sent to me by one of the forum members, and I'm sorry I can't remember who sent it to me at the moment. But the suspicion was underneath this heatsink there's a BGA, and it probably needs reballing. So we're going to attempt to take it off. I've got the single hob preheater on. It's just under there. I've zoomed in a bit so you can't see it. I just wanted you to be able to see the IC. We've got two probes. There's one there, one just behind it. If you can see that, looks like that's gone out of focus again. Let's have a look. Yeah, maybe I'll zoom it out a bit. As I say, you can see one probe there and one here just behind it, and I can move those around and get the readings near the chip that's being worked on. So that's warming up. We're on about 38 at the moment, and yeah, that's going up quite steadily. I'll pause the video and be back in a minute when that's got up to temperature. Right, we're up to 100 degrees on this one, and about 78 on this one. You can see the smoke starting to come off. What I'll do is I'm going to just hand hold my hot air nozzle with no tips on. Eventually this will be fitted onto the arm, which you've seen in the previous videos, with a proper BGA nozzle of the right size, but as we haven't got that yet, so we're going to have to do this by hand, and I'm just going to hold it in there like that. Unfortunately the pipe's not particularly long, so the preheat is up to about 120, and I'm going to turn that off, and that is because it's a solid ceramic hob. It continues heating for a while after it's been turned off, so the amount of time we're going to be doing this, it will stay hot. You can see the glue melting underneath this heat sink. Just going to keep on heating that. Beginning to loosen the balls. Keep heating. Yeah. Whether that's just the heatsink coming off or the whole IC. We'll see. This would be better with the heatsink off, so if that comes off first, that'll be fine. Yeah. preheat back on. I wasn't expecting that to come off like that, so we're going to have to warm that up again. Right, let's try again. It's not going quite to plan. I just don't think we're getting enough heat in this top heater, so we might have to try and buy an infrared top source. Just going to try and turn the airflow down a little bit, make sure it's up to temperature. Right, that started to lift that up, so I'm just going to start the vacuum pump. Unfortunately, I've been messing around with this and I've only got a really long pipe on it, just I was messing around with, but so it's going to be a bit tricky to do. Let's see. There we go. That. I'm just going to take the camera off and we'll just get these out of the way. We'll just cool the hot air gun down with minimum temperature, maximum air. So that's just blowing out. Let's see if I can take the camera off. Right, now whether we can zoom in or not, I don't know, let's have a look. Right, well, I'm hoping that last video clip saved okay, because the battery ran out, and sometimes when that happens the video clip's not saved, it's just deleted. So just going to see how close I can get. That is where the BGA was fitted, and you can see there's blobs of solder left, possibly not right up there though, but all the pads are there. So that's that off of there. So I'm going to examine those pads more closely because when it's off, because sometimes they're the ones that weren't making the contact if they've left a totally clean pad, but it's usually on the BGA, which I'll have a look at now and find it with the lens. Yeah, I can't tell looking through the camera. Some of those pads don't look like they've ever been bonded properly, and this is what I saw when I was looking at this a couple of years ago on the other Samsung mainboards. Majority look okay until you get to here. If you can see, those pads, the top three on the left and some below that, look a darker colour, and I'm pretty certain when I get this in my hand, take my glasses off so I can really look close, I don't think they're going to have bonded in the first place from the factory there. You see that? I think that's pretty clear. There should be some solder on there, I'm pretty certain. This is just like it is on all the rest of these. So let's see if I can rest this on the... There we go. Yeah, hopefully you can see that quite clearly, that they do not look right. Yeah, especially those up there. Right, I'm going to have a close look at that and report back. Right, back again. For a horrible moment when I was looking at those pins closely, or those pads closely, I thought that I'd ripped the pads off because it just looked like there was no pad there, but when I applied some flux and just ran the soldering iron over the top, they actually tinned up quite nicely. So I thought that was going to be my first disaster, and that was what the problem was. But no, they've tinned up, so what I'm going to do now is just pop some liquid flux on there, and just going to whiz over these pads hopefully and just clean them all up a bit. The holder this BGA in is just one I bought off of eBay. If you look around carefully you can get them. I think this one only cost me about £15. I think it came from China. There's some in the UK like this and they're 50 quid. I don't really understand what the price difference is. They look exactly the same to me. This was originally bought because I was going to buy I think 90mm stencils that actually would fit in here. The stencil would sit on top of here, and then you would pop this over. Sorry, the stencil would fit in between this. There's Allen screws in here, and you then lower that down onto there and that holds the stencil in place, and then just sprinkle the solder balls over it, and pour them out through there just by tipping it back out. But in this case I'm just using it on this really clingy rubber mat, so I've got a nice stable workplace. So I'm just going to trim that off there, and it's just, I've got some Service-Old Deflux 160. Again, there's probably plenty of others you can try. I'll just give that a scrub. Yeah, I mean, even now with that clean, you can see the pads that I don't think are ever making proper contact. Just going to flux that up again, and just go over it once more with the iron. Just try and get these as smooth as possible. Fume extraction is ideal if you've got it. Guess what? I haven't. So anyone watching this, don't be breathing these fumes in. I've got the workshop main door open, so there's fresh air in here. Right, that's that. Another spray. I've seen on other clips that people use ethanol to finish the cleaning of these off. I don't even know where you'd go to buy ethanol. I assume it's available, but not sure. So I just thought I'd give a squirt of IPA and see if that cleans it up nicely. And I'll get the brush as well. My stencils arrived from Carl at Laptopia. Where's it today? Oh yeah, end of last week. Huge selection of stencils. They're direct heat stencils. So the idea is that you flux the BGA, pop the stencil over, and the stencil's pretty much the same size as the BGA, and then pour the balls onto it. Make sure each hole's filled, and then with hot air just go over the BGA and reflow all the balls. Once that's done, you can just peel the stencil away and that's it. It's all ready to go back onto the board. I'm just going to see whether a very gentle fiberglass brush will bring these rather dull pads up, and I'll be back in a while. Right, back again. I've cleaned that and I've scrubbed it with the fiberglass pencil, quite gently. I mean, it has marked the top of the chip, but still those pads that were discoloured stay discoloured. As I did pop the soldering iron over them earlier, and they did take to the solder, I'm guessing it's going to be okay. But that's perfectly clean, perfectly smooth now. I just thought I'd show you some of the stencils that I got. I'm obviously going to have to go through all of these and hopefully find the right size, but I'll take you the biggest one we've got. This is just a universal stencil. As you can see, it's all the holes are there. This one says that it needs 0.76mm solder balls, which I've got separately. I've got 3, 6, about 8 or 9, and they're all marked. We've got 0.35. Bring that in a bit so you can see them. Yeah. We've got the whole range of balls. 0.76, did I say? Yeah, that's the largest one that I've got in the kit. I think they go up to 1mm, the stencils, but I haven't got 1mm balls in there. I can easily get those if required. And then we go down to these absolutely tiny ones. We've got smaller than that, I think, even in a separate bag. Again, they're all labelled. I don't know whether you're going to be able to see this. You see at the bottom of that stencil there's some writing. Yeah, not sure. This one says CG82NM 10 0.45mm balls. I'm assuming that is for some graphics card chip or something along those lines. But I mean, it's great. They're all etched with what size ball and what they use. Sorry, what they're actually for, whether it's Sony or Xbox or NVIDIA graphics cards. So yeah, pretty pleased with those. Just need to find one with the right ball pitch and right pattern. That's kind of what we're looking for, that one there. But you can see up here there's a couple of holes that aren't there on that particular chip, so it's clearly not right for this one. So I'm going to search. Hopefully we've got the right size, and I'll be back in a minute. Well, I've just been through every stencil and there isn't one of exactly the same type as this. Oh dear. I think we've got about 220 or so stencils of various sizes and shapes and patterns. What I have found is what I call a universal one, but of course it isn't. I'm sure it's designed for something, but it's 0.6mm solder ball, and it's a 30 by 30, and that pitch of holes is exactly the same as the one we've got here. So what I thought I might try is once the BGA paste is on there, it will hold this much more securely, and I probably won't even have it in the holder, but I can line it up like that. I don't suppose you can see that, but all the holes do line up, and then we'll pour some balls in, heat it back up, and once it's cooled down and the stencil's peeled off, hopefully the other ones that aren't required, that are in there, will just fall off, or just be able to be brushed off with some flux cleaner, and that will just hopefully leave the balls on the pads. So I've pretty much run out of time today, so we will continue this tomorrow. We've got some IF8300 BGA gel flux, which we shall use tomorrow, and the 0.6 solder balls. Obviously, you're going to have to work on some sort of tray to catch them when you sprinkle them on. So yeah, we'll give that a go tomorrow. As I say, this is first attempt at all of this, especially trying to film it at the same time. It's surprisingly hard to look at the screen and orientate everything correctly. Anyway, so back tomorrow with an update hopefully, and we'll see how this goes.